That was your local forecast. Now for a look at the top weather stories. Hello, I'm Farah Dalla. We begin in Alberta, where fires continue to burn in Fort McMurray. 4 separate wildfires have charred a massive amount of land over the past month. Here's the latest details from the province's wildfire information officer.
Right now it's estimated at over 350,000 hectares. So it's a pretty large fire that we're dealing with. Right now, obviously, we're throwing a lot of resources at it. We've got close to 400 firefighters, managers, and support staff, close to 300 helicopters, dozens of pieces of heavy equipment, and of course our air tanker support as well. However, we're just not getting the weather that we'd like to see in that part of the province. Obviously, we haven't seen any real precipitation. There's none expected in the coming days. So we're certainly being challenged by this fire, but we're putting a lot of resources on it and hope to bring it under control as soon as we can.
Elsewhere in Alberta, it looks like winter isn't ready to say goodbye just yet. Spring was interrupted on Saturday when a decent shot of snow layered the ground. This was a result of a low over Hudson Bay that drew a lot of cold air across the prairies. We look to international news now. Some 3,500 people were evacuated on Saturday after a massive volcano erupted in Chile. Officials say smoke from the blast spewed nearly 10 kilometers into the air. A red alert was declared for the area. This is the maximum warning level for the area. A dozen small earthquakes were recorded before the eruption started. Last year was a brutal one for hurricanes in September. The country's east coast was slashed by Hurricane Igor and Hurricane Earl. Both storms caused extensive damage to several communities, and now the 2011 Atlantic hurricane season is officially underway. Shelley Steeves has more on what kind of season we can expect this year.
It's that time again. The 2011 hurricane season has officially begun, and forecasters say we could be in for a repeat of last year.
Well, it looks like 2011 is shaping up similar to 2010 in terms of the overall activity, number of storms.
Another above-average season, a pattern we've seen now for over 15 years. It seems overactive hurricane seasons are becoming the norm.
These active periods can last up to 20 years, so we could be in for another 5 years of active hurricane activity.
Now, at this point, it's too soon to say how many storms will affect us here in Canada. But this area of high pressure between Nova Scotia and Florida may hold the key to just how many storms track north. When the pressure in this high is below normal, there's little stopping hurricanes from tracking up the eastern seaboard.
With that area of pressure being below normal, that allows storms, especially earlier in the season, to be able to track up toward eastern Canada, as opposed to a large, strong high pressure there would tend to drive those storms into the U.S. Gulf Coast or Florida.
So we may see more storms track into Canadian waters earlier in the season this year. But the good news is, cooler than normal water temperatures in the North Atlantic Ocean may help to suppress any storms that do track north.
Off of the eastern seaboard here in Canada, it's been below normal water temperatures, primarily due to the excessive cloud cover during May, but that could change during June if it becomes more sunny than usual. Those water temperatures could warm back up to closer to normal.
Which only increases the risk of a repeat of last year's active hurricane season here in Canada. For the Weather Network, I'm Shelley Steeves in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia.